government has to increase its footprint and presence in ensuring that there are positive messages in a free media.
While the Prime Minister finalizes the formation of a commission to address violence in the society, we here at the JIS pledge to continue to provide you, our viewers, with all the positive happenings coming out of Jamaica land we love. Your favorite magazine program unfolds with a word of advice, followed by the news. Stay with us.
Did you know that in a recent survey done by the OCA in schools across Jamaica, 43% of the students received inappropriate messages from strangers? The OCA wants you to be smart online. Never speak to persons you don't know. Parents, encourage your children to be social but be smart.
This message was brought to you by the Office of the Children's Advocate with support from UNICEF.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Monday, August 20. The agriculture sector has recorded growth of 10% for the April to June quarter this year. The increase is a major bounce back for the sector when compared with the same period last year due to adverse weather conditions. Among the top contributors are a 44% increase in sugar production, 40% for condiments, 27.6% for fruits, and 21% for vegetables. All these fall under the main areas of traditional export, other agricultural crops, and animal farming. The figures were released by the Planning Institute of Jamaica at its quarterly press briefing on Thursday.
These increases outweigh the impact of declines recorded for both coffee production, down 16.3%, and cocoa production, down 45.8%. Coffee production was negatively impacted by the coffee leaf rust disease, while cocoa production was stymied due to the outbreak of the frosty pod cocoa disease.
Government's enhanced security measures is reaping success in St. James and the St. Catherine North Division. The Jamaica Constabulary Force JCF is reporting a 49.7% decline in 6 major crimes for St. James. Between January 1 to August 11 this year, murder declined by 68%. Aggravated assault followed the declining trend with 62.5% and shooting by 56.4%. The parish also recorded 20% less robberies, 16% less rape, and 12.5% fewer larceny. The reduction is attributed to the state of public emergency, which was declared on the parish on January 18. It was extended for the third time on July 27 and will run until November 1. Up to June 30, 46 firearms were recovered, with many being linked directly to gang leaders and members. Meanwhile, the St. Catherine North Division has recorded a 28% decline in major crime. The same period showed decline in rape by 42%, shooting by 27%, aggravated assault 18.8%, and murder by over 13%. There were fewer reports of robbery and break-ins, however larceny went up by 200%. The St. Catherine North Police Division has been under a state of public emergency since March 18. It was extended 2 times since on May 3 and June 26. The state of public emergency will end on October 2. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Andrew Holness is urging residents of Hanover to partner with the security forces to further reduce the murder rate in the parish. Since the start of the year, the parish of Hanover has recorded an 11% decline in murders. Mr. Holness says he has been monitoring the crime rate in the parish and has held briefings with the Minister of National Security and the Commissioner of Police.
We have given instructions and directions to the security forces, and I know that they have been successful in apprehending some of the persons who are alleged or suspected of committing the crimes. But that is not going to be enough. There has to be a stronger cooperation between the citizens and the police to give up the criminals.
The Prime Minister was speaking Thursday at a groundbreaking ceremony for the construction of 63 housing units at Industry Cove in the parish. A National Housing Trust development, Industry Cove Manor will have 23 two-bedroom detached houses and 40 two-bedroom townhouse units on almost 5 hectares of land. And 293 police officers have been added to the Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF. The graduates are the first batch to be trained at the University of the West Indies under a Memorandum of Understanding signed by both institutions last year.
Your recruitment is part of the government's effort to increase police population ratio in order to enhance security services in the country.
National Security State Minister Rudyard Spencer was speaking at the Passing Out Parade on Friday. 6 basic schools are benefiting from grant funding of close to $1.5 million to assist with their Early Childhood Commission ECC certification. The fund was provided through the United Way of Jamaica and will benefit schools from St. Andrew, Trelawney, St. Catherine, and Clarendon. Administrators will use the money to improve the safety and learning environments for the upcoming school year. At the handover ceremony on Thursday, Chairman of the ECC, Tricia Williams-Singh, says the investments will continue to fill critical gaps in the country's development goals.
Undoubtedly, this contribution of $1,472,000 will go a far way in helping all these institutions, especially the 6, to attain the 12 legal operating standard. By the government, it is law. 12 standards matter. It matters. It matters.
Early childhood education is a major priority for the United Way of Jamaica. We have continued to support the work in this area by providing safe indoor and outdoor equipment for children and staff.
Improvements to the schools will impact over 400 students and teachers. And finally, 5 bids have been pre-qualified for the Jamaica Schools Energy Efficiency and Solar Energy Pilot Project. Initiated by the National Education Trust, the bidding process is being managed by the Development Bank of Jamaica. The pilot program aims to use solar energy to reduce the electricity cost to 30 public secondary schools across the island. An enterprise team chaired by Nicholas Scott has been set up to manage the project. Other members of the team include representatives from the Finance and Energy Ministries, the Attorney General's Chambers, and the Petroleum Corporation of Jamaica. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
This is my appeal, Jamaica. Give blood for it.
Give blood and give the gift of life. So safe you don't have to think twice. Do what you can for one another.
Yeah, man.
Be a hero, be a blood donor.
Yeah, me people. Watch it.
Give blood.
For your sister and your brother, save the life of another. You might never know.
Give blood.
As you love a life, you love many people, one blood. The Father says so.
One blood.
Sign up today. Be a blood donor. Many people, one blood.
Policy to reduce sugary drinks in schools, review of regional health authorities, and greater focus on eliminating the stigma attached to mental health issues. Just some of the major plans for the Ministry of Health in the financial year 2018-2019. Get the details next.
Healthcare is among the most basic but absolutely critical services that any government can offer its people. Healthcare, too, is a personal matter that requires individual proactive action. Synergy between the two is at the heart of ongoing and new prescriptions for the country's health status in the 2018-2019 financial year. Like the human body, Jamaica's national health profile requires holistic treatment, and the ministry's 10-year strategic plan is to allow for just that. 4 policy reviews to be incorporated into that plan are now near or have been completed.
These studies will look in the context of the entire healthcare infrastructure in Jamaica and make a determination as to how we upgrade in order to right-size or optimize the infrastructure that is available.
Other tools in the long-term treatment plan include the initiative to reduce waiting times at hospital A&E departments by upgrading nearby health centers. The ministry is also extending the reach of its partnership with private pharmacies to ensure patients of the public health sector can fill their prescriptions at more outlets.
We have identified another 35 pharmacies, making the total to be 52.
Starting with Victoria Jubilee and the KPH, hospital aesthetics are getting a lift and frontline staff are being groomed to administer clinical care with compassion.
During the course of this year, we intend to roll out to another 12 major clinics within the hospital system this compassionate care and volunteerism policy.
As for the competency of critical care nurses in the public health sector,
we have signed not one, but 2 bilateral agreements with our partners, China and the United Kingdom, where our Jamaican nurses will train for a part of their advanced training here in Jamaica and then go to Chinese and UK hospitals with their local tutors to complete their clinical rotation.
the St. Joseph's Hospital Cancer Treatment Center is on path to join Cornwall Regional in giving thousands more Jamaicans access to the best cancer treatment technology available. Better critical care is also being offered to our youngest and most vulnerable through upgrades to the Bustamante Hospital for Children.
The operating theatre has now been opened, and we have in fact saved some 31 pediatric young lives since the opening of this.
And the ministry expects to break ground on the China-aided Western Children's Hospital in the third quarter of this financial year or by December.
We must get the fundamentals of good health and wellness by firstly taking personal responsibility. We will expand the Jamaica Moves program to include a health and wellness program, Mr. Speaker. We are going into the workplaces, speaking to employers and helping them to develop health and wellness programs within their entities. We will introduce Jamaica Moves in collaboration with the Ministry of Education and Youth, the Jamaica Moves program in the high school system. The obesity level among our high school age cohort is a major challenge. The government will implement a policy to restrict certain types of sugary drinks in schools. By sugary drinks, we mean beverages that contain sugar or syrup that is added by the manufacturer, except for where there are prescribed dietary guidelines for patients. The same policy will be introduced in our public health infrastructure. Alcohol is the most commonly abused substance in Jamaica among adults and young people. And through a national dialogue, we will advance a national alcohol policy that will take into account underage drinking, advertising to minors, and will incorporate measures to support the new Road Traffic Act. We are advancing this year the comprehensive legislation on tobacco control. It will include mandatory prohibition on tobacco advertising, promotion, and sponsorship, including a ban on point-of-sale tobacco displays, the prohibition of sale of all forms of tobacco products to and by minors, and the regulation of price and tax measures to effectively contribute to the reduction of tobacco consumption. We will engage in the education program for the mental health teams in communities, integrate the mental health message in Jamaica Moves, continue with ongoing training of 30 community health aides in the southern region and then the northeast region. We will develop public-private partnerships with a number of entities out there, NGOs, who currently are in fact treating with those who are homeless and who are mentally challenged. Part of the response is to train teachers, guidance counselors, and physical education coaches in the early detection and referral of mental disorders, particularly depression, build resilience skills and mental health literacy in high school system. Even in the context of insufficient resources, we are fixing what needs to be repaired and putting in preventative measures to forestall problems that have become apparent. As we do our part, it is also for the Jamaican people to take responsibility for their own health.
Don't make diseases spread. Wash your hands with soap and water instead. Wash them regular or use a hand sanitizer. Make sure the germs them dead. Touching your eyes or your mouth or your nose. Wash your hands before you do things like those. After you use the bathroom before preparing food, come on, wash your hand them clean. Cause it's so easy for germs multiply. You better wash your hands, it can save your own life. Wash your hand them clean, nobody spread no disease now. Hand washing is key.
A message from the Ministry of Health and PAHO.
If you're a parent whose child is attending school for the first time, this next feature is for you.
The first few years of life are critical to a child's success in later years. That's why there's major emphasis placed on developing their young minds to take their place as the creators of tomorrow's future. As parents, we want only the best for our children, and getting the best education is no different. So we went on a fact-finding mission and unearthed some tips for you to consider when thinking about the first stage of your child's academic life.
So firstly, you should ensure that the institution you have chosen for your children, that institution has registered with the ECC or is preparing for registration with the Early Childhood Commission.
As the lead agency responsible for early childhood development, the ECC regulates schools that provide instructions for children 0 to 8 years. And when an institution is registered with the Early Childhood Commission, parents are assured that the school abides by the rigid requirements set by the Ministry of Education.
The first thing you want to look at is this a school that caters to the holistic development of the child. And in saying that, it means they have a sound academic background, but academics is not enough. You know, we need the physical development, the emotional development, the intellectual development.
Children love to play, so there should be adequate play area. When you look at the curriculum that the student uses, you should see enough time for rest. Yes, rest is important. Play, and also to find out that the teachers are equipped.
We need to have qualified, trained staff for the early childhood child. We need to know that they are warm and caring, they're friendly. Everybody wants to know that the teacher is approachable. You can talk to the teacher about whatever problems you may have. You know, sometimes, especially new parents, are very anxious.
Early childhood teachers should have attained at least levels 1 and 2 certification in early childhood development from the Heart Trust and at least 5 JSC subjects.
You need to look at the teacher pupil ratio. That's another consideration. If there are too many children to one teacher, the chances are less of each child making the progress they should. If the child is quick, they might be okay. But your child that needs a little more individual attention could be lost in a big group. So you need to look. I would suggest at least 1 to 20, one teacher to 20 students.
When you go into the school, ensure that the surroundings are clean and everything around you, they're sensitive. So the children will look at things that jump out at them. And also if you feel uncomfortable and your child says that he's uncomfortable at school, something must be wrong. So ensure you take these things into consideration.
Find a school that has an environment that's conducive to learning. There are certain factors. Is it attractive, stimulating? Is it safe? Is there proper material for the children to play with? Is the environment clean? those are factors that will affect learning. So you need to know that the environment is conducive to learning.
One of the first things I did was visit the school often, taking the child with me and also enroll her in the summer program. So at least 2 days a week she would come to get to know her teacher, to get to know the surrounding.
I have seen where those who have come to summer school, they are able to fit in much better come September, because when they come in September, they see their friend that they met in summer school, so they are able to adjust. The transition is much easier.
When looking for an institution to send your preschooler, it's also important that you know what meals are provided, as proper nutrition ensures they'll function throughout the day.
If lunch is prepared, you can ask to take a look at the kitchen, you visit the school.
We offer proper nutrition here, where the children would be given a hot meal every day.
Most times parents will pay for the meal, but what do they get? You need to know that they're getting a balanced meal each day, and that also they're having it, because you could easily pay for it and the children are not eating it.
Going to school for the first time can be stressful for the child as well as the parents.
Children, they are going to cry regardless of what. But what you'll find sometimes parents themselves crying too, and this makes the child so uncomfortable. So what you have to do as a parent, try and tough it out and encourage a child. What we also encourage, if there's a toy that the child loves, like a blanket, you can give the child a blanket. Or you can give the child a photograph of you.
Children are our future. It's important that we nurture them in every way possible. So once your child's school year begins, you should play your part in continuing the learning process at home.
The ministry's curriculum now is big on parental involvement. So you find that the homework that we give, we know the children can't do it on their own, so parents must assist. So that is big. And we also want that parent to be involved in the school life, not just send the child to school. Come to school, find out what is happening from teacher.
You can't be an absentee parent. Some parents will just, I pay, I send my child to school, and that's it. That is not enough. We find that children most times who make more stride and, are the ones that the parents show that interest.
After the child or the children have been taught here in the days, we are expecting the parents to do a reinforcement with them so that learning continues even at home and they will understand whatever was being taught.
Get involved overall. Check them. When I reach home, check the books, ensure that they get homework and do the homework, and all of these little things. And that will go a long way in ensuring that the child progresses through school.
Come out to the PD. That's where you have your voice, you have your say. This is your investment. You're investing in your child here, so you need to come out, say what it is, make plans for the school, be a part of the school in its entirety.
Our children are our responsibility. Let's give them a bright start.
Ten-digit dialing came into effect on May 31. I know many of us are still having trouble with switching our contacts from 7 to the 10 numbers required. Well, a bright young Jamaican has developed an app for that purpose. Take a look.
I am Jerome Campbell, the creator of Code App, and I am a Jamaican tech entrepreneur. I am from Lawrence Tavern, St. Andrew, so that might qualify me as a countryman. By now, everyone should be aware of this latest sound. Please be advised, 10-digit dialing is now in effect for Code App is a solution for that. Code App allows you to automatically update your contacts for 10-digit dialing. It does this automatically and it does it easily. It's available in the Google Play Store by typing in Code App, no spaces. The iPhone version will be released shortly. Code App is not just about adding 876. There are value-added features to it. The roadmap to add more value-added services. I had an issue if I should want to send credit to my wife. I had to go in the phone, copy the number, dial the number before it, dial the amount I want to send after it. So as a technology man, naturally, I'm going to say there's a better way. Code App allows you to easily go in, select the contact, and send off the money. When I started UTech, I thought being in computers involved Microsoft Word, Excel, the browser, stuff like that. But I realized that it's way beyond that. I found a liking to programming. I found that I was good at it. So I continued. The funny thing is, it was about year 3 or year 4. My colleagues were telling me about a profession as a programmer. So in my mind, I'm thinking, I can make money from this. People will pay me to do this. So I continued on that path. I thank my fellow Jamaicans for the support that they have given. It's now number 2 ranked in that type of app with over 30,000 downloads. And we are going for the number 1 spot. So we continue to develop it, we continue to make it better, and we continue to make it fit our local context and provide solutions for our local people. I'm Jerome Campbell, and I'm a lecturer at Vocational Training Development Institute, otherwise known as VTDI. Here at VTDI, we offer ICT-based courses to impact an industry. I also teach application development along with other ICT-based courses. I encourage persons to take advantage of these government institutions and these government opportunities because these institutions are here for you.
As of May 31, whenever you are making local calls, you will have to use the area code 876 before you dial the existing 7-digit numbers in your contact list. This is because Jamaica will be receiving a new area code, 658. Yes, all Little Island will now have 2 area codes, and to ensure you're calling the right person, you will have to dial 10 digits. Don't worry, if this is new to you, you still have time to get used to it because there is a 5-month permissive dialing period where you will be constantly reminded. 10-digit dialing. Another step in making Jamaica the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business. And that's where we leave you on this Monday edition of Jamaica Magazine. Catch another exciting program tomorrow, right here on this station. We are available at your leisure on our website, all the major social media platforms, and our mobile app that's Android and iOS compatible. On behalf of the entire team at the JIS, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thanks for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.